We offer customized, flexible nutritional counseling designed specifically for you. We work with diverse clientele of all different ages, different needs, and goals. Whether you are looking for fat loss, muscle gain, body composition shifts, improved health, performance, and endurance, we're here to help.
All right, Anabolic Academy, episode 3, with Fakhri and Big Danny Broadhurst, and fucking me.
Uncle John.
Yeah, okay, so we just got some news that, what was his name? Leo
and Longevity. Leo Rex, but I don't think that was his real name.
So he had a YouTube channel that was really big, and he would give a lot of, basically drug info and so on and so forth. And he just passed. How old was he?
It was a marketing. I mean, it was a like a mixed channel. It wasn't. He didn't want it to be about bodybuilding, so it was like mixed with health, like longevity, right? So
okay,
it was health advice, mixed with some bodybuilding.
How old was he when he died? Does it say?
Mid-30s, man. He wasn't that
Yeah.
old.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of information about it, but and he went on the run. He disappeared or some shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but from what I heard, there was some domestic violence thing or something. Or I don't know if it was domestic violence. I know that he was having issues with his wife, and he ran away, and she's still here. So he hadn't been back for, I don't know, God, a year. When was the last time he posted a video? Fuck, maybe a year ago.
I don't know, but what I was telling you guys was I've been on his show. I think it was like 2 years ago, and when I heard the news today, I went on his page, and the difference of how he looked in 2 years was like amazing. Like he looked like a regular, he looked like a guy who worked out. He used to talk about his old powerlifting days, his old bodybuilding days, but the last post that he put up on his page, he was like bloated, overweight. He definitely looked like he was on anabolic, gear. He just looked completely different, man. He just didn't look right, and that's just for me. That's a good. I mean, it's a 2-year difference, so it's a pretty big change.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
he always said that he used to be, because he wasn't a big guy, so people used to talk shit about the channel, saying why you giving advice, and he would always say that he used to be a bigger guy. So maybe that was part of why he was trying to, give himself some credibility.
Yeah, he looked jacked, man. His arms looked big, his face looked big. I mean, he was definitely taking stuff, man. There's no doubt about it.
Do we know how he died?
No, not yet.
No, I don't. All I know is that he would experiment with a lot of. He was really into brain health.
Yeah,
and he would experiment with like a lot of drugs that were used off label or not even used off label, or just had results in studies for brain health or other benefits. So he would take massive amounts of prescription medications that were for off-label use. So and that's what he was advising Boston Lloyd to do. So I don't know if that was a contributing factor, but I've heard a lot of people say that was a contributing factor to why he passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Boston Lloyd was on his channel for a while before he passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was their channel basically, and I think he was. I don't know. Yeah, I think he was trying to help him get away with not doing dialysis while he was in kidney failure. So I think that was. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll wait till all the facts come out.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Boston was like, I don't want to do dialysis, help me. So the guy was like, well, let me see what I can do. So I'm not saying that he caused his death or anything, but I just, from what I heard, he was trying to help him get away with not going to dialysis.
But the problem with giving pharmacology, advice on stuff that's not peer-to-peer medical study is it's not, it's not ethical. Because first of all, let's be honest, there's a lot of people with cognitive issues, right? And they're gonna believe, what they want to believe, especially if it's, well, I have this issue and I can't get over it, whether it's mental, physical, whatever it is. Like he used to he wasn't a bad guy. Don't get me wrong. He was actually a good guy, man. I spent time on the phone talking to him. We both have, we're both in the Middle East. I'm half Cuban, half Arabic. So we talked and stuff like that. So he wasn't a bad guy, but I guess like his brand was just to speak about pharmacology stuff. And like Danny said, almost all of it was about off-label stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was experimenting with something and just passed away.
Wow. That's
and he had a history of drug and alcohol abuse as well.
Johnny Bravo, and they had a whole thing on Palumbo's channel about him, and he was always fighting with Dave, and anyways, I guess Johnny Bravo's from the Middle East too, and he was telling Johnny Bravo, you can't be on Dave's show. He's a traitor, he's a Jew, and so he had some strange quirks to his personality. You can watch it's on Dave's channel. It's like he would snap, on people,
Wow.
So I guess he snapped on Johnny Bravo for going on Dave's channel, and so I don't know. I guess he seemed like a very nice guy, though. I agree with Fuck, but
well, what Dave's gonna have a whole special, with Johnny Bravo on tonight,
right?
Guaranteed. But anyway, all right. So prayers to his family. Hopefully, they just grieve and get over it quickly. But
his daughter, right? He has a daughter.
Oh my God, how was the daughter?
I don't
do you know why that bothers me so much? It irks the shit out of me because me and my wife tried having kids and we just weren't successful, and we were going to go and get medical help, and we decided not to. It's a whole long story. I could tell you guys another time, but it's a whole long story. And when I hear about shitty parents, it fucking annoys the hell out of me. It's just like, oh, what, Anyway, all right.
Well, it's hard to, that's like the hardest job in the world,
It's it just annoys the shit out of me, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right. The other update I wanted is that we are going to do right here on Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding. We are going to do a post Arnold Classic show with the whole crew from MD. Only we're going to do it on this channel. We'll probably do a pre one on MD, but on this channel we'll do a post one, and I'll try to get everybody together ASAP right after that. The problem is this show is that my channel is so small that I'm not even able to enact the live feature on YouTube yet. So it's got to be recorded and then sent out quickly. But we'll figure it out. We'll do it. All right. Jump into the questions.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go with Joan Romandi. Right? Oh, Jesus. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. This kid, we all know this kid. He's got his own YouTube channel. He loves bodybuilding. And he sent actually us two questions because I got a question from him too, Danny. So the question I got from him is it absolutely necessary to low carb to get in contest shape? So who wants to take it? I mean, I think it depends on the person, obviously. What do you think, Fakhri?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the person because everybody has a different, metabolism. Everybody has a different, basal metabolic rate. So it depends on the person. I speak for myself, firsthand. I had to eat a lot to get big. My contest prep low carbs were probably like the lowest, were probably 250 a day. I mean, that was, but then again, when you condition your body, when you condition your body to eat a lot and you put on a whole bunch of muscle, of course your metabolism is faster, right? Because the more muscle your body has, the more the fat, the faster your metabolism.
Every 1 gram every pound of body fat, it only burns 4 calories, for every pound of muscle mass you have, it burns 69 calories per day.
Yeah, and that's resting. That's resting burning.
Right.
So I mean,
resting, right? Basal.
Basal. So myself speaking, but some people, no matter the size, the metabolism is different, and I've had big heavyweights, and I've had to lower their carbs like almost 0.50 per day. So everybody's a little different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from me, I always had a low carbs. I have a tendency to get fat. Anytime I competed, I had to go to almost nothing, or I rotated carbs. That's usually what helped me. I would do carb up every third day. That was basically it. All right, and he had a second question, and it was what training regimen do you prefer? Training split or push and pull? I don't know. Fakhri, you're a big proponent on progressive overload. Why don't you take that one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a disciple of Mike Mentzer. I trained with him 3 summers and 3 winters, when I was young. You have to break down muscle to make it grow. You have to. If it's just about a pump, this is the example I give people. When you start working out, right? You get stronger, you get stronger, you get stronger, and you get bigger, and you're bigger. So why do people at one point think, well, you know what? I don't need to get stronger anymore. I'm just going to get bigger automatically. That's not the case, right? You just, take that for example. Also, whether you're natural or not, the minute you start training, you're stimulating your muscles, with weights, and that's how you're getting bigger and bigger. So with progressive overload, I tell people this, and some people think I'm lying, and other people have seen it. I got big for my first 24 years of lifting from 1990 to 2014. It's got bigger and stronger.
Yeah, but you could do progressive overload within, like, whatever people call it, a bro split and push pull.
Right. Yeah.
I never tried push pull, and I think it became relatively well known from Jordan Peters, right?
No, Jordan Peterson. But no, I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. Jordan Peterson probably was the one.
No, Jordan Peters, right? Isn't Jordan Peterson the
Jordan Peterson? Yeah, you're right. Jordan Peters. Sorry.
Jordan Peterson is the psychologist. Jordan Peters was, and he was jacked. But I always did a split because same thing as Fakhri. Like, that's how I was taught when I was a kid, is to do the split, and I still do it till this day. But what about you, Danny? Did you ever try the?
I like the bro split, but when he first started, well, actually, it probably wasn't when he first started. I joined his website and I did some of the push pull, and it was all right. But I think the bro split for sure, definitely.
All right, so if people don't know, why don't we explain what it's basically push pull legs? Why don't we explain what the difference is? Okay, Danny, you can take it.
So you're not just training, with a bro split, you're training one body part, or not necessarily one, but like I'll do like chest and arms on Tuesday, on Monday. I'll do quads chest and arms Monday, quads Tuesday, Wednesday's off, Thursday would be hamstrings and calves, Friday will be shoulders and arms, and then Saturday will be back. So really just one body part per day per week. And with push pull split, you'll do push would be chest, shoulders, and then maybe a little bit of quads. Then pull would be back, bicep curls, etc.
I thing is, I never tried it, so I really can't attest to how good that is. I mean, if you look at Jordan Peters, he's as big as a house. Did he ever turn pro? I don't think so, right?
No, but he definitely should be a pro.
Yeah, he's a monster. But so basically that's the difference. And my attitude is, I mean, whatever works for you. I mean, that's what do you think, Fakhri?
I'm a disciple of progressive overload.
Yeah. But which one does it works better with? Does it work better with a training split or a push pull, or it doesn't matter?
Yeah, because you could do it with a push pull.
But the thing with the push pull real quick is that when you're not going to be able to maximize to failure the amount of weight on that second or third body part that you need to compound movement. So to me, I
don't know. Yeah, I guess if you're doing multiple, but I think the push pull split, it would be better for strength, like better for a power lifter or somebody in the strength, because usually you're not going past 5. I mean, at least the way he does it, you're doing 5 rep,
really
bench. Yeah.
Which is a powerlifting routine.
Yeah, right. So
usually with the push pull, you don't train as many days. I mean, like, you train 3-4 days a week, maybe with the push pull.
I don't know, man.
Train as many.
I'm not Jordan Peters, but and I'm sure he's a lot knowledgeable than I am. But I always agree with Fakhri, the training split and progressive overload. And
he always admits that he trains like that just because he wants the strength and that's what he enjoys.
Okay.
It's not the best for bodybuilding.
No.
Well, I mean, I compete in the ADFPA, which is a natural powerlifting organization, and that was split. It was Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. That's all we trained here. And that is a powerlifting split.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the other question I got is from Jay Holmesy. How is EPO used in bodybuilding, or is it used at all in bodybuilding? What do you think, Fakhri?
I'd like to get Danny's opinion on this one.
Yeah, me too. Danny's more the drug guy.
No. Adrian. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's used. I mean, I know Dallas was using it, right?
Well, EPO is, why don't we explain what it is?
It's erythropoietin. So it's basically a drug that is made to increase red blood cell count. So it directly raises it. It's not like equipoise, where that will raise your testosterone, and through some mechanism that will raise it on its own. Your body will convert to having more red blood cells. Erythropoietin, you inject it and it directly increases your red blood cell count. That's basically all it's for.
I can understand somebody using it for, for an athlete that's into cardiovascular, like a runner or a skier, but why would a bodybuilder use it?
Well, the whole thing, like that Danny said, people think that because the increase of oxygen and red blood cells is it leads to more muscle growth, but the anabolic properties aren't there.
Yeah, that's the thing is the more red blood cell you have, the more oxygen consumption you're going to be able to have. So you're going to be able to perform better in the gym, supposedly, but it also creates a risk for having a stroke.
Wow. Oh, that's right. But don't PEDs increase your red blood cell count to begin with?
Right.
So why the hell would you? I don't know. I don't think. All right. So we solved that fucking problem.
Pharmacology, John. Pharmacology.
No EPO for bodybuilders.
Yeah, definitely dangerous.
All right. Okay. Fakhri, is a question for you. What do you prefer, short acting esters or fast acting esters when it comes to PEDs?
I prefer long acting esters because fast acting esters are,
when I say short. Well, sorry. Good.
Well, I prefer fast acting because let's say like DHB. DHB versus EQ, NPP versus DECA.
No, DHB is a different drug though. Boldenone, that's a different drug. But yeah, the boldenone acetate. Boldenone acetate.
Oh, okay.
Boldenone acetate. That's boldenone. Yeah.
Okay.
The DHB is the new one. It's like dihydroboldenone. It's right. It's like it's completely different though than boldenone.
That's also fast acting.
It's not an ester. It's like modified.
Jesus Christ! How do you know all this crap, man?
Is it a boldenone ester though?
No, it's not an ester. No, that's the thing. It's dihydroboldenone. So it's like methyltren, right? They methylated trenbolone and made that. So it's like they modify the boldenone. It's not it's not an ester, so it doesn't have to do with the release time.
So this is interesting though, because a lot of the guys in the Middle East are taking DHB in place of EQ.
I mean, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it doesn't really have the same effects at all. But it's strong. It's a good. I mean, it's a great steroid.
So it's gonna be more toxic if you're. So let's say you're taking whatever.
DHB way more toxic. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're taking TESS and DHB has 600 milligrams like an EQ. It's gonna be way more toxic on your body than the EQ.
Definitely. Yeah.
So we're going back to the esters. The fast acting esters, they hit your body quicker, right? So people think like propionate was safer than cypionate and nathanate, and the fact is that's not, right? Because they don't even make propionate anymore in the United States. They just, you could get it compounded, but the companies aren't making it because there's more side effects. It hits the body quicker, and gram per gram, it's the same exact thing. So I mean, if you're taking, like, a lot of guys would do testosterone, cypionate, and nathanate, and they drop it down to like 300 milligrams propionate, right, from 1,000. Yeah, we hold them, that's water, but you're also going to lose size. So
Right.
Fast acting esters are just they're much more harsher on the system.
Don't fast acting tests like propionate, can that also lead to one of the reasons that lead to acne because of the constant up and down of testosterone? As far, if you use a sip or an ente, it's a slow increase.
I think it's the same on acne.
Really?
No, I think with any fast acting, you're gonna get the side effects quicker, right? Because you're having more of a yo-yo effect on you're having more of a yo-yo effect on your hormones, right?
I think good. I'm sorry, good.
Yeah, so any kind of fast acting, that's why like we were talking about this the other week, where some people that I've known prefer to use the short ester because they feel like that way if they get side effects, they can pull it immediately and they'll be able to stop the side effects. Like some people get anxiety from nandrolone or trenbolone.
I think a lot of people also use fast acting because they think that it's better for cutting. A lot of guys in the gym they go, yeah, I want to use tren and propionate because they want to look good on the beach. And my attitude is you're splitting hairs, really. It's not really going to make much of a difference. I don't know. What is your opinion on that?
Milligram per milligram is the same thing, right? So 1,000 milligrams of propionate is equal to 1,000 milligrams of cypionate, but this is going to be faster and more side effects because like Danny said, it goes in fast and it comes down fast. Goes in fast, goes down fast. So yeah, I'm very traditional ABC type of guy. I don't like to experiment.
I think
me too.
Like that I think is just more for like if you're a competitor and some competitors pull test. So you wouldn't want to run if you want the test out of your system by the time you compete, you wouldn't want to run a test probe, right?
Okay.
So you would run you wouldn't want to run like a test sip because that would be in your system.
Okay.
So you could pull the test probe 5 days out and it'll be out of your system. So some people want to pull certain things before they compete and keep them in. So but for your average guy just going to the beach, I don't think it's like one's going to make you more cut.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't think so either. But that's actually a really good point. I never realized that. I always thought guys did the fast acting stuff for pre-contest because they're trying to get as lean as possible, and this was the philosophy that they were going by.
No, I think it's so you can pull it.
So when you do pull it, is that helps with releasing water retention? Is that what it is?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Some guys find out, not everybody does that, but
as a coach, I don't do that.
I don't do it either. And
I'll pull out the test and GH maybe like 5 days out because you're taking a Arimidex or whatever. You're taking an anti-estrogen. You're taking Proviron. You're taking Masteron. You're taking a whole bunch of DHT. Not blockers, but like estrogen blockers and stuff like that. So it doesn't even make sense. And when you start taking out the test a month out, 2 weeks out, whatever it is that these guys do, that's why they flatten out. It looks like pancakes on stage.
I agree. Yeah.
All right. Next question.
And they hold more water, John, because you remember your muscles deplete more. So the skin is hanging more, so it looks more watery. Actually, they're taking out the androgens too quickly.
Really?
Yeah.
I never
glycogen.
So for every that either. Sorry, okay.
For every gram of glycogen, there's 2.7 milliliters of water attached to it. So the more glycogen you have and you can hold, the more round and circular and everything is going to look. So if you're pulling that testosterone, which is allowing you to hold more glycogen, or pulling whatever, yeah.
Danny, are there any other subjects that you know everything in, or just bodybuilding?
No, definitely just bodybuilding. But I don't know.
Nah, that's not true, man. Because we've asked Danny a lot of questions on the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like if I ask you about if I ask you about geometry, can you just rattle off equations and shit for me?
No, man. Funk knows more than me, man. He's been around a lot longer.
Pharmaceutical stuff, Danny is very fucking awesome.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Jesus. Yeah. All right, next one. Should women use testosterone? That's a hard no for me. What do you guys think?
I know that. I mean, they use it for hormone replacement. So in certain cases, if they're having hormonal issues, yeah, I mean, in middle age, but I mean, it depends. I mean, I think
Well,
that's
I'm thinking for competition reasons. I'm
right,
usually
right.
thinking,
Right. But yeah, for competition reasons, it's kind of like the last step, before you really, you want to use that as your very last, if that's a woman who's getting into women's bodybuilding.
yeah, exactly. Fakhri, I was always under the impression that women should stick to Anavar, clenbuterol. Some girls use like oral Winnie. Maybe if they wanted to, like 1 unit of growth, but most of the time it's just Anavar and clenbuterol. That's it. But what's your opinion?
I mean, like Danny said, what, Danny? I'm sorry.
What was the other drug?
Masteron. I mean, that was made for women.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. All right. So,
but,
all right.
I mean, yeah, it was not successful, so that's why it's not used anymore. But, yeah. But
all right.
Yeah.
So ladies out there, don't use Masteron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as like testosterone and stuff like that, women are very sensitive to anabolics, right? So like they respond so quickly. 10 milligrams in a female of Anavar is going to be like 50 milligrams on a guy, or 100 milligrams on a guy. So I'm coaching a couple of female bodybuilders right now, professionals, and they're not on tests. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna, they're gonna be 145, 150 pounds on stage because, one, they train like a fucking savage, like a man. They're not like a bodybuilder. Bodybuilders train like bodybuilders, whether you're a female or male.
That's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure.
They're eating a lot of food, so like with taking Anavar, Anavar, a little bit of Winstrol, even oral Turinabol. If you want to go up to Masteron, MPP is popular for females, right? We were talking about short esters before, or deck action stuff for nanodrels. But it also depends on what level, because we have bikini,
right,
all over female bodybuilding, right? So
right,
how far you want to push yourself, and of course with genetics too. But I think, and another thing is with females, once they start going overboard, like a guy, it's cool for a guy to have a deep voice, right? It's cool for a guy to have male features, right?
Yeah.
But it's not cool for a female. And so you could say, well, Fakhri's voice changed over, or Danny's voice changed over the last 15 years. But to say to a female, and then those characteristics are not going to reverse back. So, like, ladies, do not take testosterone.
Yeah, I mean, any female competitor that comes to me other than bikini, I mean, I tell them, I say, look, if you want to turn, or are you looking to become a professional at this? Because regardless of what we do, you're probably going to experience some changes that are going to be there for the rest of your life, even from oral Winstrol, right? Fuck. I mean, that always changes their voice. I mean, so are you okay with that? And, is that something that you're going to be all right with? Because, you never want to be the coach that you told them to take whatever, and then they don't realize the consequences. Because on the other end of the spectrum, there's a guy at my gym, and he tells women, he told this 50-year-old woman taking Masteron. They think it's like, give your girlfriend your cycle. I had a girlfriend once that she had a prior boyfriend, and he had given her all this stuff, Tren.
Oh, man.
She blew up, and she had really good genetics, but she was stuck, bodybuilding. That was all she could do. And she would cry about it. It was horrible. So you never want to be that coach doing that. And I think Fox right. I mean, 5-10 milligrams of Anavar goes a really long way.
Yeah, I agree.
Osterine, that stuff's great, for women, and it's very mild, and they're not going to get the viralization.
See, I don't get you two guys get a lot of competitors. I get just people in the gym that want to get in shape and want to pick my brain about, like, what could I take, and some of them are girls, and I usually just tell them, some Anavar, and then that's
don't even tell them that, man.
No,
I mean, tell them to take some Anavar, but you're excuse me, but your clitoris is gonna get enlarged. I mean, that's what happens,
Wow. Okay.
I mean, that's what happens. So
very sensitive, extremely sensitive.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, it's going to happen. So
what other side effects? So you have the deepening of voice, clitoris enlarges, this facial hair too,
facial
right?
hair. I mean, I had a girlfriend that did physique. This is a different girlfriend. She did figure, and she was. I looked over one day in the car, and she was a beautiful girl. And I looked over one day, and she had facial hair growing out of her.
Wow.
Face, you know, completely changed the way her face looked.
What about the strengthening of her jawline too? I've noticed a lot of girls that happens to too that are in.
Yeah, I mean that was just from Primo, you know.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't want to be mean here, but let's be honest. There's a certain look and a certain voice that females who take a lot of stuff have, and it's identical. The look is almost identical. The voice is almost identical.
That's true. Yeah.
This is not being mean. This is being factual.
Absolutely. So, it's a telltale sign.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's 100% fact, and
yeah.
Look, I'm probably gonna have a lot of female bodybuilders mad at me, but you should.
Women,
the coaches instead of going to certain guys, and then remember, like certain coaches only coach females, right? Because females are a lot easier to get in shape. A lot easier. Way
really?
Easier. Of course, John. You give them a little bit more of something, and they're gonna change faster than guys are.
And they listen.
A lot of these female coaches, they're not fucking geniuses. They're just giving their clients more.
Shelby. I worked with Shelby.
Did you really?
Yeah, he's
Shelby.
Nuts,
really?
He's a fucking nut, dude. He gives the women 125 micrograms of T3.
Yeah.
And I mean, fuck, if you're gonna do that, like, you better tell them the consequences. But these women have no idea the consequence. I mean, that's constant of guys with their girlfriend that give them shit. The guy doesn't even know the consequences unless you've seen it. Like, fuck, Fox seen it. I've seen it. You don't realize, but this stuff, it's like a totally different. It'd be like if a guy smokes weed, the girl's heroin. It's like a completely different drug. It affects
the body completely different, and there's no turning back to those male characteristics.
No turning back.
So for people who don't know, Shelby Starnes is a trainer who trains a lot of top women bodybuilders, right? And he has a reputation of
only trains women.
Only trans women. And he has a reputation of really going deep into the PEDs with women. And rumor has it he might actually have this is just I can't say for sure, but rumor has it that he might have some bodies on his hand from that. But I don't know how true that is. It's just I heard through the grapevine.
Oh,
He's coached a couple of them, right?
I know that. I've heard that too with supposedly he had women taking aldactone and then carved them up on potatoes or something. Wow. So they had hyperkalemia. They built up a bunch of potassium.
The potassium itself from stopping from stopping your aldosterone and then putting in a bunch of potassium in your body could cause a heart attack right away.
Right.
It's like blocking your aldosterone and taking 5,000 milligrams of potassium more than one shot. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to stop your heart. It's going to cause a heart attack.
I actually had this conversation with Jamie Pinder. I had her on my podcast, and she's a wealth of knowledge when it comes for women and anabolics. And she actually says the same thing you did, Danny, that these girls have no idea. A lot of times they take what their boyfriend is taking, and they don't know how harmful it really is. They go into a blind. They're just basically tunnel vision. They want to look a certain way, and they don't care what they have to take. And and they're not educated on the side effects. And she has a great actually YouTube channel that she puts out specifically for that, to educate women on the side effects and the drugs and what to expect when a woman competes. She was amazing wealth of knowledge. All right.
This one girl that I would date would cry.
Yeah.
She would cry. She was huge. She was jacked, and she would cry about the way she looked. And she had great physique for she could definitely turn pro. But
and the thing is, it's like there are women who are extremely attractive and have a lot of muscle on them, right? Like, I mean, Alicia Young is one of them. Like, she's able to keep that femininity and be attractive, but she has a lot of muscle on her. But and then there are ones that I guess they just cross over into the dark side so far, and it just becomes, you have a lot of masculine.
It's like anything. With any drug, you get, some people get more of the benefits, and then some people get more of the side effects.
I see. Okay.
Some, it's like they're not getting the muscle, but then all of a sudden they're getting the facial hair, they're getting, so it depends on the woman for sure. It's like any drug, right?
Yeah, if you're making gains on 10, 15, 20 milligrams of Anavar, if you're doing women's physique, I'm talking about a women's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Maximize it. It's like a guy, maximize it. But again, females are much more sensitive than guys.
Yeah.
And to go back to the cutting drugs, there are cutting drugs that females they need to take to be competitive. They have to be aware of it. Yeah, and they have to be aware of it. But it's you don't take Masteron all year long. You don't take whatever you're gonna take all year long. You might run like a guy. You come off and you do a little bit of Anavar in the off season. Try to keep as clean as possible with the food. Food and training, the drugs, and then for contest prep. Listen. At the end of the day, we'll compete in the win, right? That's a fact. We'll compete in the win. Nobody's most, especially at the higher level, you compete in the win. So we're not gonna sit here like I heard in a couple of other podcasts of people that I actually fucking coach talking about. I never used these drugs before. I coached them. I knew they were taking these fucking drugs. Come on, like I fucking coached you, bro, for like years. Bro,
yeah, right.
Bro. So like, we're not gonna sit here and say, they're not taking the stuff because. Yeah, I have girls that they some bodybuilding girls, physique girls. I will put them on a small amount of Masteron. I will put them on Provide and stuff like that. But it's during the contest prep. It's like maybe the last 8 weeks, but they're not gonna take shit all year long. I mean, they're not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And they're aware, as long as they're aware of hey, this could happen, then I'm like, okay, but I always feel like it's like unless the people who are going to fuck have probably been in the industry a long time. But if I'll get a girl that's new, I'll always make sure that she's aware, like, hey, these are the side effects that can happen. There's no telling, these can be irreversible. Do you really want this that badly? But as far as your everyday gym goer, that's a girl, I would never tell them to take Anavar.
Yeah,
okay, sorry about that. All those girls out there that told take Anavar.
I had a family member ask me that a couple years ago. She was like, really, I don't want to say exactly how close of a family member, but she was very close. And she asked me about Anavar and clenbuterol, and I told her, I said, listen, do your research. If you're going to ask a person, you're coming to the right person, right? As you're coming to me, but do your research and. Whatever we research, there is no good research of PEDs on the internet. This is not like you tell somebody to research clenbuterol, Anavar. There's a million side effects. So you have to be aware of what the side effects are and how long the person should be on there. It's not like go read something on how like me and Danny were talking about filtration of certain drugs, right? Like Anavar is considered like a very soft drug. And I told Danny, I said, we never realized that it's not toxic, but the kidney filtration of Anavar is very high, and that's considered a safe drug. So you have to be aware of, me and Danny were going back and forth on a few drugs, and you have to be aware of what it actually does too, because you can't say something's not toxic, so it's not bad for me. You have to be aware of how it works in the body.
Wow. And Anavar for men, what about the?
But on the flip side too, it's like, a lot of these drugs could raise. I was talking with John about this too. John was it you, John? I think we're talking about test raising hematocrit, and if you look at the studies on test raising hematocrit on TRT patients, it does. There's no significant increase in risk of death by stroke of those people who have the higher hematocrit versus those who don't.
Really,
a lot of it's genetic too, but like there's no correlation of people who are using TRT. But in the regular world, if you have an increased hematocrit, you're more likely to get a stroke, right? So, like Fox said, that these things could be causing something on blood work, or it could not be causing something on blood work, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not hurting you or whatever, right?
Okay, so now explain what a hermaphrodite is.
Hermaphrodite. No, we didn't say that, John.
No.
John, why don't you explain what it is?
As soon as you said the word, it's the first thing I thought of.
Or the red blood cells.
Red
Okay.
blood cells, buddy. Red blood cells.
All right.
Viscosity.
All right. Last question. There we go. Contest prep. Do you guys prefer cheat meals or high carb days? I don't know. Fakhri, you're the coach. Go ahead.
I don't. I personally never cheated on my diet. I will. Well, let me rephrase that. I cheated 3 times in 7 shows during my actual diet. All season, I ate whatever pretty much I wanted, as long as I got my nutrients in there, my whatever my true protein, my true complex carbs, and my true fats. As far as cheat meals, like anything fried and sugary, it does absolutely shit. Does nothing positive for the fucking body. So to go out there have brownies and cookies and ice cream with your meal, that's doing nothing for your body. So calorie for calorie, a cheat meal compared to a clean, high dense meal is it's a world of a difference, right? So like if you get a bowl of pasta, you might get like 200 grams of carbs from a bowl of pasta. That's not equal to the same 200 grams of carbs you're getting from sugar from like a brownie and stuff like that. So I don't give cheat meals. What I do is I'll put extra meals, 3 or 4 extra meals this week, and as we're getting closer to the show, 1 extra meal this week, and I put it not required. But for me, having a clean good meal is that's it. Bad cheat meals don't do shit for your body. Nothing. Nada.
Mm-hmm. What about the school of thought that, because I had a trainer when I did my last show, and I'm gonna not mention his name, and I would always have to do low carbs, or I would have to rotate my carbs. And there was a time where I would get so drained, and to the point where I couldn't concentrate because my carbs were so low, and so on and so forth. And he would tell me, go have a cheat meal. Now, I think this was like one time, right? He said, go have a cheat meal. And I said, well, can't I just increase my carbs? And he goes, no, your body already knows what to do with those carbs. You've been taking them in. Is there any truth to that?
No.
It's a good thing I didn't pay that bastard.
Holy shit. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
I mean, so like, Danny could elaborate more after I say this. If you're having yams and brown rice, change it up to white rice and red potatoes. You know what I'm saying? Or you're having, like I said, you might want to have a pasta meal, or go out and have a restaurant meal, but a good meal. Danny could go into the rest.
Yeah, no, I mean, like Fox said it originally, with all that junk food, you're creating massive amounts of inflammation.
All right. So everybody out there, make sure when you want to do a contest, don't cheap out like I did. Don't go to the guy that was like, I'll do it for free. Don't do that.
I'll do it for free.
Yeah, don't do that, because that's what I did. Don't do that.
I got you.
go to somebody like Fakhri, who's been around for many years. Even Danny, who trains on the Milos. Just spend the money and get a good reputable coach who has trained for a long time. Don't cheap out on that. That's like cheaping out on a motorcycle helmet. You don't want to do that.
And you won't value it as much either. I mean, if you're not spending money on something, you're not going to value it, and you're probably not going to take the advice. So I don't know. That's what I've found. But I think as far as the only benefit I would say to a cheat meal is going to be the mental aspect. And for me, I don't even necessarily like that, because I find it difficult to stop. So I prefer the clean meals too.
Clean cheat,
right? Because what's that?
I mean, like what we did back in the days, we never counted our macros. We would wake up in the mirror. We would wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and be like, "Yeah, I'm a little flat." Instead of having my 1 cup of rice today, I'm gonna pick it up to 1.5 cups of rice today. Stuff like that, or
just do a high day.
Right, just do a high day, but not a cheat day. A cheat meals do nothing, nothing. I can't. There's another word I could use, but nothing. For your body.
Then why are there so many people out there that are like, you need a cheat meal? Like this, if that's the case, there were so many gurus out there. What'd you say?
They understand their clients are weak-minded, and if you have a weak mind, and also this too, people like to hear cheat meals. People like that coaches are giving cheat meals, because if you come to me, people are gonna be, a lot. Well, why other coach give me cheat meal? Why don't you give me cheat meal? Or they might not want to pay you next month and hire somebody else to give them cheat meals and stuff like that.
Nah.
Like, I don't care about that. Like, money's money, right? So I do what's right for the person.
Right.
I'm not gonna baby nobody and give you a cheat meal, but coaches don't care, and you guys know that. Coach, as long as you're paying the coach $250, he's gonna make you as happy as you want to.
Right. Yeah. All right. That's it's the same thing as the personal trainer. I mean, I've seen personal trainers in the gym with like people who haven't lost a pound, and they still go to the person year after year after year, and he's just going through the motions.
We all know that the diet's that's the only thing. And as far as the cheat meal, it's just a mental. All it is a mental thing. Otherwise, in the off season though, I think can be useful, but I'd much rather a high day in the contest.
All right, very cool. All right, fellas, I will see you guys on Wednesday night over at MD. Thank you very much for doing this with me once again. Anabolic Academy #3. Remember, like and subscribe to Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding. Please, trying to get this off the ground. And like I said, I'm not going to quit until we have a booth at the Olympia with large-breasted women working for us and Hell's Angels as security. That's it. All right, fellas.
Angela. So I just realized I didn't change the name on my Zoom. So
you want me to block that out? Or you don't care?
Whatever. Right, yeah, that's fine.
All right, fellas. Later.
Thanks. Yeah. Have a good night. Bye.